Hello, hello, hello. Aurelia Davis here on a new Monday of a new week. These days are just flying by, and I'm trying to fly with them. Okay, we're glad to be here, glad to talk to you today. Hope everyone is doing well. Teachers, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it going, keep it going. You're almost there, you're almost there. And then when you get to the finish line, throw some balloons up in the air. Do something to celebrate. I know your children will probably be celebrating because they want school to be over as of last week. Okay. But if you have not done so yet, go to aureliadavis.com and click on the Thrive Retreat. The Thrive Retreat, the Thrive Retreat. Okay, happening in Tulum, Mexico, July 30th through August 4th. I almost forgot the dates. July 30th through August 4th. And it's going to be a dynamic retreat for educators and teachers, and just get pumped up to get to be there. Get pumped up to be there. You would be surprised how after a long year of teaching, things sort of, you need that settling environment when everything just sort of goes down, where you relax your body, starting from your feet, your toes and your ankles and your feet, and then it goes all the way up to your head and then goes all the way back down to your feet again. These are some things. This is what I did at the end of the school year. Every school year, at the end of every school year, I would take at least one day, be it in my classroom if I was still getting paperwork together, or if when I would get home, and just knowing that this was the last day of teaching, and I would just release so much stress, happy stress, but it was still stress. So go over to my website, aureliadavis.com, click on the Thrive Retreat, and see what we have to offer to you. July 30th through August 4th, in Tulum, Mexico. Take care. All right. Now, this subject is very, very dear to me because I'm assuming, I'm assuming that teachers all of the time you have been teaching, there were probably many a day or many a week that you thought and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I refuse to do this anymore. I mean, more than you can count on 10 fingers. These ideas came up in your mind that said, I just can no longer do this. And then you look up and things get smooth again, and you start doing it all over again. That's fine. It happened to me. It happened to me. My first 2 or 3 years were tragic. I mean, rough, rough, rough. But then I settled into a real smooth, what would you call it? I would consider myself to just be sort of floating along and just sort of taking things as they came to me. And then once I took them on, then I was able to just go on and just complete what I wanted to do. And that was to be an educator. So during those times when I thought about giving up, okay, during those times when I thought about giving up, I thought to my first question to myself, what can I do with this degree? What can I do with this degree? And I think at that particular time, I only had my bachelor's degree, and eventually I did get my master's degree in teacher leadership. But I would ask myself during that first couple of years, what can I do with this degree? Well, I ran across a booklet that was called, oh my goodness, The Color of Your Parachute. I don't know if they still make that or not. But that particular book, I think I got about 3 or 4 editions of it because it was always changing. But I got that book, and I basically sort of delved into it to find out exactly what skills did I have as an educator. Oh my God, there were a lot. It was a lot. And I just did some more research as of 2024, and I found out that I was able to download some information saying that there's at least about 15 to 30 different skills you can use as an educator, because as an educator, you're in that classroom, you're using everything. You're using all of the skills that were ever invented. I'll just put it that way. All the skills that were ever invented. You're talking about communication. You're talking about time management. You're talking about speaking, just a little bit of everything. And what I want to share with you today is some of the skills, how I was able to take those skills after retiring. Some of the skills I did use during the time I was teaching also to get like extra jobs, especially during the summertime when I wasn't able to work summer school. But then there was also that time when I decided to retire, and I was trying to figure out what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Well, I had always been a lover of Chicago history. I had always loved Chicago history, and I lived in a neighborhood where that was very historical as far as the houses were concerned. So we're looking at gray stones and two and three flat buildings and so forth, and courtway buildings. We call them courtway buildings at the time. Houses that basically had front yards and backyards and gangways, okay, and driveways and things like that, front porches and back porches. And this is how I grew up. This is the type of neighborhood I grew up. Well, also being an African American, I start thinking about the migration of African Americans to Chicago at post-slavery. And I took those ideas and did a little bit more research as to how African Americans start migrating to Chicago and other cities, migrating north. And I wrote a book. In fact, I wrote two books. The first book is A New Land. And the second book is John David's Legacy. And once I started working on those books, I found out that, oh, if you want the books, you can locate those books on my website, aureliadavis.com. And I did self-publishing, which made it a lot easier, But I found that in order to write these books, I had to have very good organizational skills. It brought, beyond the organizational skills, I had to have time management, because what I would do is I would set my, get on my laptop or my computer, and I would set up an outline or type out an outline so that I would know exactly what I was going to write, what the first chapter looked like, what the forward looked like, the beginning chapter looks like, and then how I was going to break it down into so many chapters. I looked at characterization, I looked at settings and all of those things. And it sort of came easy to me. It did come easy to me because these are the things that I basically pushed my students to do while I was teaching them reading. And we talked about characterization, we talked about settings, and how a story flows with the beginning, the middle, and the end. And this was what I was able to do with my teaching skills. So as time went on, I worked on that, but at the same time, I found myself being involved in a few organizations where my skills and my knowledge of education was very important and very much needed. And so I was able to do speaking, and I have been doing speaking engagements where I'm speaking about education and how important it is to teach children how to read, and especially working with the early childhood, and how important that particular age group is, because it gives children a very good launch into education or into learning, working with preschoolers. And so during that time, I was able to get into working with a couple of organizations, which I still belong to today. And so it just sort of kept my mind abreast as to what I love to do. So after working in the classroom for some 30 something years, then I started working with educational organizations after retirement. And that just sort of kept me abreast as to situations that were happening and issues that were happening in the field of education. And it allowed me to just express myself as to how how some of these problems could be fixed. And I've been listening to the people have been listening to me, so I'm grateful for that. But I'm just saying that teachers do never ever think that you are stuck in a box as far as the word education is concerned, as far as the field of education, because that you have been taught more than lawyers, doctors, accountants, everybody, because you have been able to do everything. You keep books, you set up management skills in your classroom, and you're basically that type of person that have to think on their feet immediately to solve problems. Problem solvers, oh my goodness. And then human resources is a great part of it because you're dealing with at least 30 different little personalities that you have to work to collaborate together in order for them to be able to do what they do. So transferable skills are very important for teachers. Now, I'm going to talk on the next couple of days, going to tell you a few other things that I've been able to do since I have retired using my teacher skills, And one thing more than anything else that I have found out is that it comes easy. It comes easy talking about what I have been able to teach for over 30 years. I transfer the information that I was able to give my students over to now to adults. Now to adults, because I know what it looks like. I know what a classroom teacher looks like. I know the skills that a classroom teacher needs in order for them to be successful in the classroom. But at the same time, I can basically go into a boardroom and tell business people what's needed in the field of education also. So it places you in areas where your expertise is very valuable. Your expertise is very valuable, and those transferable skills are very, very valuable. Some of the skills: multitasking, organization, coaching, critical thinking, research, conflict resolution. Oh my goodness, conflict resolution. You know how much that is needed in the corporate world? That is needed in the corporate world. Yes, how to be able to bring individuals that are having conflicts together in order to solve a conflict. It's interesting because my sister, who works at a hospital in Texas, she reached out to me one time and she stated that she's managing so many young adults or adults in the field of pharmacy, and how they seem to be having issues in different areas as far as respect and bullying and those types of things. And she reached out to me to see exactly what she should do. Well, I immediately was able to give her A, B, C, and D as to how to solve these particular problems. And at the same time, I said, now I'm thinking at the level of a child. I said, but the same thing works with adults. Because conflict resolution is conflict resolution. That's when two individuals cannot meet in the middle of the road to solve a problem that they will benefit from. That's what exactly it means to me. So she was able to take the information that I gave her and just take it to the next level. And she said that what she does now is she follows up with some skills. Because what I did with my students is that once we had decided what the conflict was, then we were able to write up information so that we would never have that particular conflict again, because we would have solved it as a group. But as different conflicts come up, you can basically use the same skills, coaching and basically being able to talk, being a good listener, a avid listener. That's something that basically teachers have to be. And you find that you have to have those types of skills in the corporate world also. Be a listener, especially managers. They have to be listeners. And so these particular skills, we have so many teachers, you have so many transferable skills that you can just use. I'm not telling you to go out and find a job now. But even if during the summertime, you want to work in different spaces and work with different organizations using your skills, you would be surprised if you mention, I am a teacher. And then you set up and do a resume with your teaching skills in place. You will be surprised as to how somebody would grab you up and hire you, because your skills are very valuable. And the thing about it, when people look at the skills that teachers have, they said, my goodness, how did you guys learn that in 4 years? Well, we never did learn it in 4 years. We practiced it. We were able to practice. We were able to practice it. I can't say practice. Oh, there we go. We were able to practice it during the time when we were teaching. We were able to practice it while we were teaching. And it was a daily practice, daily. We practice coaching. We practice classroom management. We practice conflict resolution. We practice being very good listeners to children and students and things like that. And just you name it, we did it. We did it on a regular basis. We did it on a regular basis. And it paid off. It paid off. And that's why I am more busy now than I was when I was teaching. I'm doing more things now than what I did when I was teaching. So think about it. Transferable skills are very, very, very important as far as educators are concerned. You need to start taking those skills and embracing the skills that you have, seeing how you can transfer those skills and put those certain skills in a resume. And of course, you want to spot check the ones that you're very good at, the ones that you have a tremendous success with. Mine was classroom management. So managing a program or managing a workshop, all of those things come into being when you're talking about management. And that's something that I have embraced and I love it and I use it on a regular basis. And then you see me talking, running my mouth. So speaking is another one. Speaking is another skill that I have been able to just take and embrace and just loving it, loving it, loving it. So I'm not through with this particular subject. We're going to be talking about a few more things that I was able to do after retiring from education, because I was able to step into a few other endeavors where I was able to help someone or help family members and different things like that. So this is Aurelia Davis. If you have not gone over to AureliaDavis.com, go over to AureliaDavis.com, click on the retreat and see what we have to offer for you. Tulum, Mexico, July 30th through August 4th. Waiting to see you there. Take care and have a great one. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.